this series comes with a parental guidance warning, and that there are instances of extreme gore, violence, some mental shenanigans, which could be classified as gaslighting and such. And if these are things that could be triggering for you, please check out one of our other series because they don't go as hard into it. Now, with that parental guidance warning, we know what time it is. It's time for our favorite campaign down in our favorite fleshy amusement park, the Happiest Place in Earth, utilizing the Mystery Meat Pit Cypher System Edition. And oh boy, what a start of all this journey. We've gone from the actual fleshy amusement park because everyone needed a good break. Everyone needed a vacation to what Riley was considering a bonding time. And this last week has been anything that Riley was hoping was going to be. He was hoping this was all just going to be relaxation and such. And the trip was, that's going to be one to remember. And then the time at the beach was pretty good. So Riley is happy that went good. But so far, right now, as we are going to go back in and start with Yaretzi, Moonlight, and Riley, if we would see a camera, it would be shown in and it would have Riley's face, just zooming out from Riley's face as he's just screaming, going, "This is a house of horror!" And the reason why he's screaming and saying this, as he's looking at the potato salad and going, "There's fucking pineapple in it! What fucking monster did this? I hate this place!" And Riley is now just sitting and pouting. Granted, he's doing his best to just ignore the individual, the entity that is semi-fused into the top portion of the building of the manor. So the best way to describe the room that Yaretzi, Moonlight, and Riley are presently in right now, it would be about the size of like a grand dining hall. And this is the table they're situated at with this elaborate feast and everything. It's one of you would consider it the cliche king style table, that really long, elaborate table. And granted, at one end sits the individual that Riley is just the entire time been shaking while looking at him, thinking that, well, A, how is he alive? B, how is he alive? 3, why is he alive? Why is he alive? Why is he alive? And oh dear God, please don't let him say anything to Moonlight, because in Riley's head, he knows some of the most embarrassing stories about Riley, and he does not want any of them revealed. And right now, that rival, he's still sitting there, has his elegant blindfold wrap around his eyes. It has some inlaid golden thread to give this elaborate markings that anyone with any background with mysticism, magic, they would recognize that these are actually hoodoo spell spell markings. And that's the only thing I can reveal just for free. And he's just sitting there, just sipping on a tomato basil bisque, just loving it, because he can tell Riley is just, he heard Riley screaming about the potato salad, about the pineapple, and he's just, Riley, I know you're uncivilized, and Lord knows I don't know what you consider for your education, but this is a traditional recipe found in some portions of Europe, so maybe you should show some respect to the cuisine of the world, Riley, and be a big boy and just pick it out if you don't like it. And Riley's just, fuck you, asshole, world cuisine, dick. And the spirit the entire time's just, so yeah, he's just gonna ignore me. Yeah, both of them. So I've been used to like all the other people who come in here, they just actively ignore me because they're dicks. I've realized this now, but yeah. So he's okay, yeah. Go. He looks down at Yaretzi. Yaretzi, what are you doing during this time of like the food and everything?
So I keep sliding over plates to people who seem like they're gullible enough to eat it, and then when they try, I'm slapping them with the yo-yo monster.
Give me a difficulty 4 might roll real quick.
Okay.
And this is actually, you cannot lower this actually, so this is stuck at a difficulty 4. There's a reason for this, so go ahead.
That is 29, I think.
Okay, so 21. Okay, Now, what is your end goal with this, yaretzi? What are you trying to do with this right now?
I'm trying to hint
As you
that I don't trust the food.
Oh no, I meant with the monster yo-yo.
Oh, it is absolutely just smacking people who are like gullible enough to try to eat it.
Okay, you've been just nailing Riley in the head every time he just gets a spoonful, just going, "Oh man, this looks so wham! Oh man, I can't wait." Hits his hands this time. Come on, I'm hungry.
She's glared the whole time like it with the program.
But young man, you might find yourself living a lot safer and better. Shut up! I'm not going to have a lesson from something in the wall. Rude.
Oh, does he see the spirit too?
Oh yeah, so Yuretsi, Moonlight and Riley actually ate something right as they ran up to the table before the start of everything, so
Uh-huh.
they can see the truth and hear everything from the nature spirit. I can't say for Moonlight, but I can tell you right now, Riley's been actively just ignoring him. Like, yeah, I don't want, because he wants nothing to do with this.
Oh, Yuretzi's face palming then like,
You know, I think the spirit's rather nice. And definitely not the worst thing that Moonlight has ever seen while tripping on something.
I am going to tell you right now, the food you ate, but since Yuretzi's been actively blocking you and Riley, she's gotten you a few times, but the little bit that you did get
oh,
to eat in the beginning, it did sober you up like that. So you definitely know you're not tripping balls now. No, you're not stoned, nothing. But there is something fused with the upper portion of the wall. So in this grand dining hall, the ceiling is maybe about a good 45 feet up. And this has a traditional like steeple design, so you can actually see the beam work. And near where the beams are, where it makes the steeple, where there's a very elaborate stained glass painting. And if anyone looks at this painting, I need to know first and then I'll continue. But right underneath this painting is this humanoid entity that looks like they're made with a combination of vines and wood that is literally fused into the wall. Like his torso's coming out, but then where his elbow is supposed to be, it fuses into the wall, and then down a few like couple feet, his hands coming out, and it just continues on with the rest of his body like that. So here's my question then, Moonlight. Have you been listening to this individual?
I mean, I have. It's you need all the information you can get to survive in a unknown enemy territory situation.
And you know what? I am actually going to go ahead and just make a canon change. I'm just going to call the rival Xavier. So Xavier just once again, just sipping some more tomato bisques. Just, man, this is really good. And he's just, oh, you don't need to worry about him. As far as I can tell, he's been a part of the property since the house has been built, and, well, we just consider him like a fun part of the property. Well, that and, well, it in the basement.
It
So, my very large, beautiful new friend, did you by chance happen to come by a gas station on your way here?
I definitely ran into a friend of mine.
Oh, you're talking about Jerry?
Oh yeah. Oh, you're a friend of Jerry's too?
Jerry gets around.
Oh
You
yeah, he does.
you you know that man's filthy rich, right?
You know what? I had no idea, but I do now.
Yeah, he has so much money because he's a trust fund baby, but he has so much money it's not even funny.
Yeah, I like your rhymes. She gives him a pat on the head.
I do believe we can be good friends. And Riley, I can already tell that this young lady is your significant other, and don't worry, I would never do anything like that. What me and you have is something much more special than just call and flirting with someone else's love. We'll play
Wait,
later.
you were flirting with? Wait, you were flirting with me? Oh, you cutie.
Xavier just looks and goes, "Oh, no, I was just letting Riley know I was not flirting. It's you are a beautiful woman, and that just needs to be just exactly as the young lady over there is. But anyway,
No, I got you. I just wanted you to know that yeah, I'm in a monogamous relationship.
Well, don't worry. And Riley, even though he's currently bleeding from the corner of his mouth from how hard he's biting his lip, he knows I may be many things, but I am not a liar. Right, Riley? Yeah. Fuck you, Xavier. Yes, I figured that, but at least you did confirm that. So, anyway, now, there is a gas station that Jerry works at. Now, I guess when they started working there a few years ago, everyone was having trouble sleeping and the such, and some of them would wake up and start digging. Well, apparently that stopped, and some of you, while you're sleeping, you might find yourself outside digging a hole. Now, don't worry, you aren't in any kind of danger. You're just going to be digging a hole, and you'll most likely wake up by the time you've dug about a good 4 feet. But now, I figured out, because I am the caretaker of this building, I actually don't work for one set family or mafia. I actually work for the home, and the one down below, technically, I guess you could consider my employer. He employs quite a few people. There's another individual that he hires for certain jobs that his name is Spencer, and I would recommend not running into Spencer. Spencer is a pure fucking sociopath. He makes me look like Barney, and, well, I am a
Rebel?
monster. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, you're so innocent, my dear. Now, so Spencer, we both work for the same employer, and, well, in ages past, he went by something called the Dark God. Now, people always get hung up on that word, the Dark God. They always are going to assume that he's evil, but I guess during his time, Dark God had some other kind of connotation, and it didn't necessarily mean evil. But which is actually going to lead me to a pretty important question for you all, actually. That gentleman by the name of Mori, I do believe. Did he come with you?
Yeah. I start looking around. It's like, huh? Hey, he's gone again.
And you see Xavier pull a plate from the center of the table. You see these black eggs, and he's just, there's the century eggs, and he just starts eating century eggs. Riley gags, just, "Ah!"
Oh, what are those? Can I have one?
Of course you may. He hands you a century egg. Do you eat it?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a fucking delicacy. It's very delicious. It actually, because of the way the egg's been fermented, it actually has more along the lines, has the flavor of like soy sauce, which is why it has that blackish color.
Ah, this is pretty good. I'm gonna eat another egg.
Oh, Xavier happily shares with you from the plate of century eggs. Now, the reason why I happen to ask and there's a reason why I know his name is Mori, and I happen to know quite a bit about Mori, actually. It's just, the thing is, for the last few years, every one of my networks, none of them knew where he's been. So, and I'm really happy that he's here right now, especially here, because not only do I get to report about him not being dead or anything, but that individual I told you about in the basement. Well, how do I explain this? Well, and as he's getting ready to explain to Moonlight, Yaretzi, and Riley what the Dark God, how this association with Mori and all that, why he knows, we go to Mori just a while ago as he started descending down to the basement. And as he's descending, everything at first it seems normal, but the staircase just keeps going and then winding, twisting, spiraling. But then things seem to become interesting, because now, instead of that normal green glow, the glow is now becoming more like a purple, as if someone just threw a purple sheet on top of a lampshade. And then as Mori is ascending, he actually doesn't even have to really move his feet anymore, because it's as if he's on a conveyor belt, because now the staircase has become fleshy and he's just moving along. But as he's descending down farther, the lighting just starts getting even more like rhythmic, as if it's going to a beat, and then he starts to hear, not on a radio, not in his head, no, he hears a funky ass fucking bass and a guitar being played. And as he comes into this massive, elaborate, grand hall, in the middle, we see this entity that stands about a good 20 meters tall, looks as if he's fused with the floor, and his body looks very fleshy and such, and he has 6 arms, and granted, he has like a humanoid-esque head. Granted, he used to have a mohawk beforehand, but now he has a different haircut. He has a magnificent perm styled after Prince, and he's holding a instrument that's been made just for him. It's called a double guitar bass. It's 2 guitars with a bass fused in the middle. And he's holding it in his 6 arms, just playing this song, and as Mori comes through what literally is like a beautiful silky curtain, we just hear the entity just say, "Hello, my love. I've been thinking of you." And he goes through this elaborate musical number. Yes, he's playing Strawberry Electric 22. And it's just literally like a fucking music video at this moment, as Maury's being led around the room as he's playing, and the whole time as Maury's being led around this massive fleshy room, the entity's just staring at him, giving him the fuck me eyes. Blowing kisses at him as he's singing, and then when the song comes to an end, the fleshy road leads Mori to standing basically to his face height, and he's just, "Oh, I've been watching you for a very long time. I gotta admit, I'm a little nervous because I never thought I'd see the apple to my eye. Grace me with your presence. Mori, I've watched you for many years. I may be a dark god, but I'm in love." And when he holds his palm out to you, Mori, his palm opens up and there's a ring in the middle. The massive stone. Will you do me the honor of joining with me, baby? Oh.
Good.
Oh, don't worry, Mori. You must say no now, but I'm sure once you, and he starts to like shake his hips, reminiscent of like Elvis. I'm sure you'll see I got the moves, and I could really show you a good time. But don't worry, it's not like I want to force you, because as much as I love you, Maury, I would never want your love to feel forcibly taken from you. So, just to have you in the same home as me, he's just wiping some sweat. So, what brings you to my domicile? And the road starts to retract from you, and he's just spinning you around him as he's just playing a little light, funky bass, just looking at you.
Hold on a sec.
Oh God, I'm dying. Oh, I'm dying. I've been very excited for this.
Well, mainly I'm here out of curiosity, because maybe I'd like to get to know you just a little better, but maybe not quite in the way that you're wanting.
The spinning stops, and he just turns around, doing like kind of like a duck lip. Oh, that's even more than what I was hoping for. Even if it's just a platonic way, that's more than enough for me right now. Even if we just start as friends. And this is when he actually, to make himself less imposing, he starts to shrink himself down, and the road leads you down, and he's able to shape himself some legs from his massive torso and pull himself off from his base. Now, granted, there's still a massive portion of himself there. It's when he walks off of it after he shrunk himself, it now literally looks like a rosebud. And no, like the minute he steps off of it, it takes away that fleshy properties, and it becomes literally just a massive gargantuan rose petal and rosebud budding into a flower. And as he's walking up to you from the corner of this massive grand hall. A gentleman wearing a black leather jacket, holding a karambit, spinning it on his index finger. Hold on, boss. Granted, I know you're excited about all this, but are you sure you're safe? Oh, Spencer, what did I tell you when I first hired you? Don't cockblock you. And what are you doing right now? All right, boss, I'm gonna go upstairs because Xavier says we are gonna be getting company. And, ever since you told me to stop going to the gas station and I can't go see those two fucking jackasses anymore, I've been kind of bored. So, have fun, boss. Just, you need me, you're linked together with this building, so all you gotta do is just just make one of those little weird phone things you do to talk out of. I'll see you, lovebird, later. Just my protection. And with a gentle clap of his hands, the atmosphere takes away that, let's be honest, this would be a trip straight to fucking horny jail. It actually now becomes more of a extremely calm, modest, very nice, best way to describe it is just a nice, simple little, living room. And there's a very elaborate lay couch. I can never remember what those are, where it looks like a love chair with a long bed couch attached to it, but he goes just to lay on that. And then for you, Mori, there's a very nice, the best way to describe it would be a therapist chair. And there's a table with some beverages available. There's alcoholic, non-alcoholic selections, and he picks up a nice sifter of brandy and starts drinking and begs for you to take a seat. Do you take a seat, Mori?
First, is there any Mountain Dew?
Yes.
All right. I will take a can of Mountain Dew and I'll have a sit on the edge of a seat.
And your little entourage of all the Bob, they have they are at a loss for words because they saw everything. And Bob was, in all honesty, he wasn't scared for you. He was scared for the Dark God because he was just like, oh, he's going to kill him. But this is going much better than he could have ever dreamed. And yes, Mori, I didn't forget. And they join you, and the Mogwais, they go and they're sniffing at some of the brandy. They each get a sifter of brandy, and these little fuckers can hold their liquor. But they don't continue to drink. They just quickly down their brandy. And Bob, he grabs a shot glass of tequila and just barely puts it to his mouth, and a little drop goes in his mouth, and he falls down drunk. And as we will come back to you as you are going to continue your conversation with the Dark God. We're actually going to join in now with Scruffy, as Scruffy was going, just getting to his mopping. These hallways just kept changing, shifting, moving, to where he was united with the were-dog Nathaniel. And granted, now he's slowly been shifting more back into he's able to shift it into more of the actual, what we think of for lycanthropes, more of the underworld version of the werewolf lycanthrope. So he's standing upright, walking bipedal, and dear God, you feel sorry for those shins. You have no idea how it supports that weight. But he is just going, and now he's just got really long, droopy, doggy ears, and not gonna lie, he is still not intimidating. He's actually kind of fucking adorable. He looks like a fucking pug bowling ball. And as you go these winding and twisting hallways, you find yourself, you three, I say three because Bethany she's just been hunting after because she's, for some reason, believed that goddamn Bruno was telling her flavors of meat when no. And so she's been chasing after the dwarf-sized killer to get a taste of that flesh. And the dwarf-sized killer was planning this elaborate chase sequence and big confrontation, but now he's fucking terrified and he's been hiding from fucking Bethany. And somehow that ass has been coming up on him. She's become the fucking stereotypical horror serial killer in this instance now. And Bethany, like, she has a fucking Rambo headband. Somehow she got a goddamn fucking machete, and yet she has a bow and arrow strapped across her back. She's wearing a camo tank top, camo pants, combat boots, and the little Mogwai is dressed the same exact way as her, and they each got goddamn fucking arrows with flaming tips. Where do they get these? We'll never know. And, well, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna let Sticky Joe take it away from Sticky Joe. How are you feeling about that?
Sticky Joe really isn't. So the only thing, Sticky Joe had like just kind of dozed off a little bit. He woke up screaming, "Not another nightmare! Sticky Joe dreamt I was a cat person, and I had a skeleton chewing a bone that kept yelling at me to fuck myself."
Okay, and you know what? I said this wrong. This is going to be you 4, because Sticky Joe, as you sit up to say that, you fell asleep in a hallway. We're just going to say it. You fell asleep in the hallway. You were pretty fucking drunk. And the house decided to fuck with you because the dark god just likes to fuck with people. And he made a trap door, and you fell ass first. And thankfully, you fell on top of Nathaniel. And Scruffy, Bethany, and Nathaniel are all reunited with Sticky Joe. And literally, Sticky Joe, it's like landing on a perfect just cushion. And Nathaniel, you just hear that like a little squeaky noise just come out from him. Squeaky! And he just looks at you like this magnificent gift that Moonlight posted in our Discord viewers. You just see all these rolls. Pug face just turn, just go. Meh.
You got more rolls than a can of busted biscuits.
Oh, and Bethany, during your traveling through the hallways, you happened to come across some jerky, and you were pretty hungry. You got your snack on, and you ain't tripping balls anymore. You're stone cold sober. But god damn it, do you still want to, for some reason, get a taste of that rump roast from fucking the dwarf-sized killer? Because from what you've heard, the best meat's in the rump.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I have to eat his ass now.
No. You have not found the dwarf-sized killer. You're still hunting after him. You've just now come across the werewolf. So, Bethany, you weren't here for the last session, I remember, but Nathaniel has been revealed to be a werewolf. The only thing is that he doesn't look like a fucking wolf. He just looks like a pug. So imagine one of the lichens from Underworld, but with pug features and aesthetics, and still very, very, very plump and very wide.
Oh.
But so yes, Nathaniel is a werepug.
Noted.
You see Scruffy and Sticky Joe, and Scruffy, even with your normalcy field, this house is still kind of weird, and yeah, you see the werepug Nathaniel.
For that, we might aim her bow and arrow at him.
This is strange, but that's not my first lycanthrope.
What? What?
Y'all act like you ain't never seen a werepug before.
I haven't.
Well, you ain't gotten out much.
No, I get out a lot.
Don't sound like it.
Listen, I'm blitzed half the time, so I'm not even. I know I'm sober now, but usually I see this shit on a daily basis because I'm so high. Anyway, I think he's hallucinations. Don't want to shoot him.
If you must.
Why?
You want to borrow my shotgun?
And oh my god, yeah, Nathaniel, Bethany, Scruffy does have a shotgun, so
You're welcome to old Betsy.
Please allow me to hold Betsy.
Just be gentle with her.
Bethany takes a shotgun and rubs the barrel, and you're like, no, this girl likes it, bro. She cocks it one good time and aims it at Nathaniel.
Nathaniel just even with the shotgun pointed at Nathaniel, he's not like scared of it, and you just hear a, "Hey lass, you just be wasting your bullets if you would be firing at a werepug. Everyone would be knowing only silver bullets would be putting down a werepug, and didn't you know the Irish Mafia was the great werepug clan?" And
No.
Bethany, if you turn around, you see another werepug. This one is not big and girthy. He has a nice, healthy lycanthrope build, but he still just has pug aesthetics.
Roughly, we're aware of it. Still thought it was funny anyways.
Yeah. I'm still going to shoot him She pulls the trigger.
As you hand my shotgun back, I'm going to fire one extra as well, just because.
Like, so I'm not gonna make you roll for this because it's just in vain, because I can't calculate damage that's not going to do anything.
No, I'm well aware of that. I just wanted to put one in him.
Delia. Exactly.
We were
just
both
wanted to shoot
fairly
it.
aware of it.
We just wanted to shoot him.
And so were you shooting at Nathaniel?
Indeed.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? So me wee cousin been getting on your nerves as well.
I think
That tends to be a normal. That tends to be a normal reaction to my cousin. So how can I be helping you? What brings you all here? And
I don't even know how I got here.
This werepug, he just like does a very quizzical like eyebrow at you, just like, hey, someone be having a good weekend. It seems like, if you don't knowing why. What about the other two? The other two. He looks at Scruffy and Sticky Joe, and Sticky Joe right now just he has just like an absent look on his face. He's fucking miles away. Scruffy, how do you answer?
I'm sorry, what was the question? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Oh, the werepug is just asking you why, like, what brings you here to the house.
I were on a bus, and now the bus is here. I couldn't really be more clear than that.
He cocks an eyebrow. He looks between you all, looks at Nathaniel, looks at you all, and goes, you probably work for that funky, weird little lad, Aukenfeld. And in knowing him, he most likely forgot that this was the summit, and we had the rights to the house this weekend, and of course that's Aukenfeld. Well, you're going to find the home is quite occupied with many different gangs and different species of the Fae.
Gangs?
But
you mean like drugs?
He slowly just turns, looks at you, and slowly just turns back. As I was saying, you're going to find many different species of lycanthrope and different members of the Fae, and do not worry. All rules for the Fae they must follow in the home since they're gone from the woods.
I would suspect that Alkenfeld knew surely what time of year it was. He's like that.
You be saying he's an asshole.
Yeah, that'd be a good way to put it.
He just knowingly, the werepug knowingly nodding, and there's just you hear like a buzzing as he pulls a radio from behind his back. He is wearing pants and clothes. He is wearing clothing though, so he pulls it off his pants belt. Hey, this is Lance. Hey, Lance. This is boys downstairs, and we found some weird little guy just running around screaming, this woman wants to eat his butt. And we figured this was just one of the crackheads that somehow found their way on the property again, so we locked him up in the cage. Would you happen to know anything about that, Lance?
Can definitely hear this.
Yes. And Lance just looks at you all. I be thinking I know why there be a wee little fella talking about that. Care to explain? And he has a big smile on his face because he's not like mad. He's just very curious. Like, okay, I want to know why you are chasing after somebody saying you want to eat his butt.
I'm not chasing after anyone that want to eat their butt. That's just a college friend of mine. He's probably tripping balls. I should just go talk to him. You should also just leave me alone with him. He's gonna freak out if anyone's in the room. I promise.
To be completely fair, I'm pretty sure eating ass is pretty common in the dog world.
That one
I
just
seems like a gimme.
And you know what? I'm gonna say, like, with that fucking Lance is going to lead you guys downstairs because he wants to hear more of this obvious bullshit.
Bethany is just obviously skipping along behind him.
Oh, no. Don't worry. Don't worry, Mori. There's God damn it.
Yeah.
I love it. But so you now here's my question: Is Sticky Joe or Silas? Are you back with us?
Yes.
Okay, how is Sticky Joe when you were told that this is a mafia summit meeting, but this isn't just any old mafia, that this is different types of besides werewolves, and this isn't any old werewolf you're seeing, like literally Nathaniel comes from the Irish mafia and they are the clan of the werepugs. They are all werepugs, and you are in a house full of different kinds of, I can't say lichens, just other kinds of shapeshifters. I will just say shifters. There's all kinds. I can't tell you until I introduce you to them. And then of course there are also Fey Mafia members as well. Thankfully there's a truce while you guys are in the house. They have to follow the rules of the Dark God, and they also also because of a certain nature spirit that is fused with the home, he helps to infuse the laws that the Dark God imposes. Now, Sticky Joe, how are you feeling about all this as you hear about the different entity creatures and stuff you're going to be meeting right now?
And Sticky Joe survived a week in Detroit, so this ain't shit to him. But since he's there, he will graciously accept the hospitality, eat a few living chickens, and spend time with Peggy.
And
In fact, I got a quick question.
yes.
Is my guitar working again? Has the rest period ended?
Oh, no. He's still sleeping. But
am I still able to play it without using the power?
Yeah. You can still play it, but
Okay, Sticky Joe's gonna lay down some.
Ooh, but we need to go back real quick before you start laying down that funky beat. You said you're eating the chickens, right?
Yes.
Oh no. Sticky Joe, as you just wolf down these chickens and you guys are going through these different corridors, you're being led through different rooms. You come to one room that you were told that this is where the avian mafia is, and they represent the Sicilians, and they're all Sicilian. They represent the Sicilian mafia, and and the ones you see are all like you have a great horned owl, a seagull, a pigeon, a hummingbird, and these are all look like lichen humans. But the one that's kind of really, as you wolf down the second chicken, is the rooster. And this rooster, he's specifically, he is a silky chicken. He's a silky rooster. So he's got that little puffball afro on top of his head, and this is literally just like that fucking Kill Bill moment. He just fucking zooms in, eyes locked in on you, Sticky Joe, just all red, sirens going off, and give me a difficulty for agility roll. So you got to beat a 12. This cannot be lowered.
15.
Oh, you expertly dodge as he goes to try to tackle you. The rooster.
I
he stands
surprisingly
about
had some good rolls, and I'm just waiting for that to the next time I fudge a roll, I'm probably gonna die.
So this avian lichen, chicken stands about a good 5'9", and he cracks his neck side to side, cracks his knuckles, and takes a boxing pose, and looks at you, Silas, and opens one of his palms, and does the motion for you to come on.
Wait. Bethany wants to step in real quick. Step
okay.
in, just look at the room. Maybe guys should come to our party. We'll put you in costumes. You can be the Jackson 5, and you can perform Rock and Robin.
I like this.
Wait. This is your idea of, okay, so you want to go with diffusing this by saying that. Roll me a d20 real quick. I just need you to roll me a d20.
Damn it. I am back.
All right, so what did you get, Bethany?
16.
Okay, that's enough. The silky rooster, he actually relaxes and he goes, I like it. Okay.
Damn, we have a new attraction.
And this is when the great horned owl, you can obviously tell that this is the Godfather. I'm very happy, Robbie, that you were able to come to a fair compromise. And you, gentlemen, you were able to keep the peace, and you were able to make sure that Robbie didn't violate the truce and shed blood in the home. You have my thanks, and if you need anything, you come to me. I officially owe you a favor.
No.
You think you can take me directly to the cages you guys got down there and keep everyone out?
Now, that one might be a little tricky because that area is not held by us this year. That territory belongs to the Fae, and you're going to have to talk to them. I do apologize, but if there's anything else, I will not count that against your favor because you didn't know. Now, if you need anything else, please, I must be getting some rest. It has been a long day of negotiations.
Okay. Drugs. Drugs. You got drugs. Lots of them. Enough for, enough to kill a horse.
Robbie just gives you kind of like a little elbow and goes, "Oi, hey, Toots, you might want to comment with the drug talk around the Bachfather. Young lady, drugs are not good. They bring nothing but trouble. And when I run my business, I do not allow those to bring drugs into this. Now, this is again, I cannot provide that which I do not have the power around me." And Robbie just gives you a look, and he's just, I got you covered, Toots.
Definitely gives Robbie a wink. And she bows to the
Little ma-
godfather. She's like, I am sorry I offended you. Didn't mean anything by it.
He sits back down behind his desk, and he says, "No, I do apologize. Once again, that is something outside your knowledge. You could not have known this. Now, and I accept your apology, and I do thank you for your civility. Now, young lady, I do actually happen to have some top quality brandy that you're more than happy to have, and I also have some very nice 300-year-old scotch. You may help yourself to a bottle. Now, I must see to some paperwork, and have a good day. Oh, and Lance, please tell your father that I do believe we can come to a deal. My dad's gonna be very happy, and so will me uncle Nathaniel. Your dad's gonna be really in a good mood tonight. And as you keep going, you are getting lower, and it's really funny that Mori picked that gif because the Fae, their sense of fashion hasn't left the Renaissance era. And there is a Fae dressed like Henry VIII, and yeah, he has his little pet Fae creature in his lap, and he's just stroking the chin, and you guys look at it, and you're just, I have no idea what that thing is, but I would not be stroking its chin because it looks like it would eat your hand. And even Clem is just like terrified of it. And now the Fae that are in front of, they don't look like, they have some aesthetics of like of what we recognize as animals, but they also have aesthetics of insects as well. So the one that you see that's stroking his pet, he's very rotund. If anything, him and Nathaniel have that very, and you see that he has the aesthetics of a white rabbit, but instead of normal, just two eyes, he has compound eyes, but they're still red like a rabbit, like a white rabbit's. So you see his red compound eyes, and then he also, behind his rabbit ears, he also has insect kind of like antenna that run along the back of his ears. Oh, what do we have? The greatest presence, the king of the Fae. And as you are getting closer and closer, this is when you really come to notice that his girth is actually much larger than Nathaniel's, and that his little rabbit legs are kind of absorbed into his massive girth. So he has to be sitting in, what he's sitting on is like a very elaborate wheelchair chariot. But it looks like it's made of gold and silver. And you see he pulls out a whole massive pie, and he just, in the blink of an eye, the pie's in his hand. And next, when you blink, he's just got crumbs and pie filling all around his face. Oh my, may I help you? Ooh. And before we get whoever speaks to this entity first, we're going to go back to Moonlight, Yaretzi, and Riley and as we join back, you've been explained to about the Dark God down on the floor, about his massive infatuation gone on for like a decade now. Like literally a decade. Part of Xavier's job was just getting pictures of Mori at one point, sneaking onto his island and having to risk life and limb because fucking Mori's security is like some goddamn X-Men shit. Fucking lasers and shit coming out, firing at him, and he's just, where is this technology coming from? What the fuck? Is that a bipedal robot? That is a robot. The things he saw on Mori's property, oh god. So, and this is when finally Xavier gets to the part about what's going on in the house. And now, my Riley, Moonlight, and I do believe her name is Yaretzi. Right now, what's going on in the home, I do apologize that your employer that sent you here on inform you, but there's a summit going on with the, well, it's not any old mafia group. They're a little different. Have you ever heard the rumors about how certain mafias might be werewolves or...
Oh, I've heard a lot of things, and a lot of the legends in my travels. Also from Jerry.
Well, I'm going to let you know that not only are they indeed true, but a lot of people got it wrong. Because, and as Xavier is about to continue, in walks a very old looking werepug, and he's he's got the same like fat and girthiness as Nathaniel. If anything, he kind of just looks like a very old version of Nathaniel, and you could get the gist that this may be like they have definitely some kind of relation, that if this is not his dad, this must be his uncle or something. Oh, you did not come in through that for that one. If you could repeat yourself, Moonlight.
Oh, he's so cute.
Hey, lass, I will let you know I am a member of the proud Werebawks, and I am anything but cute. I am
I
small
start scratching
and...
behind his ear, and I start rubbing his belly.
And he's just laying there doing, just like kicking one of his legs.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Riley, you might want to let your partner know that she is presently scratching the belly of the leader of the Irish Mafia, and she might want to oh god damn it! And Riley is actually there with you now. Oh, who's a good boy? Guys, he is wearing a suit. He's up. Yaretzi, was it?
Oh, Yaretzi peaced out.
Oh god damn it! We'll come back to you because I want to know where you go. And Xavier is just, oh god, I didn't have a chance to explain. Oh, you know what? It's not like it has like she's friends with some kind of monster. I'm just gonna go, Riley. Moonlight, please stop rubbing his belly.
Aw, but he's the cutest. Alright. I stop rubbing his belly and I pout. I cross my arms and I give a pouty face.
And as Moonlight gives this pouty face, the nature god this entire time, he is actually disappeared from his position that he was overlooking you all. And Yuritsi, where were you headed off to?
Just somewhere where the nature spirit and I could talk.
You follow a trail of vines leading along the wall, guiding you, and come to a nice it's a Arizona room. And best describe an Arizona room, you see a open concept room with a very beautiful set of bay windows and very nice. And oh goodness gracious, I can never remember what the table is called, but it's one of the Japanese sitting tables with the heater underneath it and the blanket on the
Kotatsu?
top of it. Yes, you see a kotatsu and the nature spirit. What they're able to get for most of their torso and lap, they come fusing out of the floor, and they're sitting, and they motion with their head for you to please take a seat opposite from them.
She'll go ahead and do that.
I knew you were, thankfully, different from the others, and you would actually speak with me. Thank you.
She's gonna motion to Bruno. Like, my people walked around with all sorts of things.
And now, here's the really very interesting thing with Bruno is that normally he's massive size, but right now he's able to take he's able to adapt and change his shape. So now he's only, if he was standing normally, he would be about maybe a good 11 feet tall, but with the way he's like hunched forward, he stands about good 7'5". Like, okay, we'll say about 8'5". His back's hunched over, and he has like very extremely long front limbs, and his hands touching the ground, and his legs, granted, even though they're still extremely long, he has them bent in a way to where he is able to walk normally. But god damn, is it unsettling just seeing motion. And when Bruno looks at the spirit, Bruno just falls to the floor, and he doesn't say a word. I can also tell from your blood that you come from one of the tribes that paid homage to my species.
She's gonna be a little protective around Bruno because she doesn't know why he exactly fell. But she's like, we were always taught to respect our surroundings. It's only fair that we would pay homage.
Please, Skinwalker, you may stand, but you are not like the other past. You are much different. Ah, you come from the creature that is our planet, lives in our planet. Okay, that makes sense. I know many entities that have gone that have been changed. You're just the first Skinwalker I've seen change this. And Bruno just gives a nod as he raises his head and sits and just goes into a sitting knee position. Now, young lady, thankfully, since you are willing to give me time, I would like to ask for your help to free me from this home.
I would have done it without you asking. I don't like staying in such a place.
It was not very long ago. I was with the other elemental spirits. I was riding the wind, and a energy started to pull me in, and I felt myself being pulled into this property, this home, and at the same time there was an entity from the same, well, I guess you would say same realm and the others come from. And because of the two of us being together, it caused us to basically fuse with this property. Now, I can't say for the other, but I don't want to be here anymore. And I've come to recognize that the only way to truly free me is to kill me.
Gonna pause at that, pull out her bag, and she's like, that's unacceptable. And she started like just dumping out all the ritual stuff she brought with her.
But the spirit, right now, the emotion of their start. What was that? Oh, now this, if they were a normal human, they would just crying and bawling or saying that this is unacceptable and you getting to work pulling out all these ritual items. Granted, this is crying and all that is foreign to the spirit, is just lost in this moment watching you, stunned by what you are doing. And if this is the route you want to go, this is going to take quite a bit of time. Now, thankfully, you guys are going to be here in the house for quite a bit of time. Is this what your yaretzi wants to spend her time doing now? Because this, literally, you're going to have to devote everything to trying to study and figure out how to get the spirit removed without him dying.
Oh yeah, she's not interested in anything in the house but him.
Alrighty then. So I will be crafting a special side route for you that you'll be doing with this ritual. And as we go out from yaretzi, I want to go back to Moonlight and Riley as finally Xavier was able to free the Irish Mafia Don from Riley and Moonlight's belly rubs. And you know what? He's a good sport. He's not going to hold
He
anything
liked it.
against you two. And guess what? He did. He loved it, especially when you were scratching behind his ear.
Alright, so I'm still standing there and I'm giving Xavier the pouty face.
And Xavier's just, you know what? Actually, Mr. O'Reilly, would you actually be so kind as to, because I think the best way to make it up to this young lady, to make her not so upset, is could you possibly introduce her to other members that are here for the summit? Because this is a co-worker of your son. Ah, this must be one of the last the boys had a crush on, man. But don't worry. Even though the boy is 38 years old, he's still a virgin. He wouldn't even know what to do.
I stopped blushing. I'm just gonna think to myself, it's like, you don't say.
Riley is just dying laughing, just I'm telling everyone. And are you gonna go with Mr. O'Reilly as he I'd be more than happy to walk with you, lass. Would you join an old man? And
Oh, absolutely. It's the least I can do.
he holds out his arm for you to loop with his, and as you and Mr. O'Reilly start to walk away, Riley is getting ready to follow, and that's when Xavier gently puts a hand on Riley's shoulders. Now, Riley, how about we take care of this unfinished business, seeing as how everyone else is going to be a little preoccupied? Riley just looks and says, I thought you'd never ask. And they go to just start walking towards the door. Riley's just rolling up his sleeves, Xavier's jacket, puts it on the coat hanger, rolls up his sleeves, and they go to just walk out the door. And the last two groups I need to make sure to touch in on before we come to the end of this session. I would like to go back to Mori. Mori, your conversation with we're just going to call him DG. With DG, what have you been discussing with him? With them, actually.
Mostly just like life stuff. Like, I came up with a couple questions and immediately forgot them. But, hold on a second. My cat's. Why do you wait till now? Anyway, things like what has he been up to? What does he think of, what do they think of the modern world? Do they have any interesting entities they've come across that might be collectible?
You've asked some really great questions, so let me start because I want to address each one of these. So the Dark God tells you about how he felt himself pulled by the actual energy from the pit. That's where that rose petal is. That's literally covering the opening that's coming from the flesh pit. Well, coming from the entity that is the creature in the planet. And he felt himself pulled to it, but at the same time, another entity that to other people in other times they called them gods, other times they were called nature spirits, but to where he's from, which is essentially the best way to describe it is he's from a higher dimensional plane. Him and these entities, they look this way, and everything because they come from the seventh dimension. There's so much complexity that comes with their bodies that they're only able to project certain things. Like for what we will call the nature nymphs, each one of them are only able to project like an element, which made them believe they're nature spirits because that's all that's able to be projected to them from the seventh dimension. The Dark God, DG, because he's someone with vast power and such, he was able to literally construct his own form. Granted, in his dimensional plane, his real body is something much vast, larger, and if anything, he would compare it to Earth's Mount Everest, is what his physical body is more. He tells you about the seventh dimension and then how he came to Earth and he resided, and he really liked how the third dimension is, and he's curious about humans and how he was getting into politics, about saving the environment, because not only just for the creature that's inside the planet, because the better the environment is and everything, the longer we're able to keep the creature asleep. But with like pollution and other planet fracking and all that, it causes it to become unstable and causes the creature to stir and awake. So that's why he's been active with like fighting for the environment and such and getting into politics. He actually has right now, he has someone who is presently in the Senate who is possibly going to be picked to be a VP running mate. And if things go right, he could be a president later on. And then addressing like how he feels about the present situation, he's done everything he's wanted to do. He doesn't actually even want to go back to the seventh dimension. What he wants to do is to pursue his dream of being a pop star and just laying down them sick jams and being able to go on tour and concert. But where would he be able to perform? A freak like him, a creature like him, even if he was able to find his way, escape from this house, because even if he wanted to leave, presently the only way for him to leave would be to die. But if he was able to be free, he would be a musician, and he would need the right kind of manager. And then your question, yes.
Hold on. On that note, what does he need to be freed? That's going to be a question Mori asks him in relation.
Actually, I can tell you this. Thankfully, I can actually tell you this with him now. So he tells you that it would be a extremely complicated ritual, and your best bet is if you knew someone who hails from maybe a Native American tribe, but that would be awfully convenient.
Yes, it would, wouldn't it?
But if you could work with her and she was able to do the right kind of ritual, then that would him and this nature spirit trapped here. And then to answer your question, he's like, oh, I know of many interesting things in the seventh dimension that would probably pique your interest. But once again, I can't leave, because if I could, I'd happily go get you some things.
I could see what I can do.
And he actually says, granted, their heart is still a flutter for you, but they actually want to respect your feelings and everything. And they're like, it would mean the world to them if they could consider you a friend.
A friend I can do.
And like I said, that's more than enough for them. And they happily, and you know what? They tell him, hey, I've taken enough of your time today. If you want to ever come back down, again and talk, or if somehow you're able to figure all this works out, we can talk some more about this music career, because I feel like maybe you could help me out with that.
Oh, I'm sure I could. I've got lots of people. Just lots of people.
And he just, if only. I mean, they are just, if only. And they play you a song out as you now. The Mogwais are literally carrying the drunk Bob, who is still just super drunk. Because granted, it was just a one shot of tequila, but this tequila is for the price of the bottle, it's actually about $1,600 a bottle. So this is very, very high scale agave tequila, and oh yeah. Still though, super lightweight. And they're carrying him, and when you get upstairs, he lets you out through the entrance to the basement. You come out through a very door, and right now you're in the Grand Central Hall. Well, you're in the main hall where a large staircase to go to the second floor is. And when you come up here, you can hear frantic running and such. And then that's when you see yaretzi just running with a shit ton of books. Do you follow behind her, Mori?
But maybe not quite at the same speed.
Now, I'm going to ask... Oh, and
there's only one reason Mori will run, and it ain't this.
Now, this is going to be my same question that I asked yaretzi. Is this what Mori would like to focus on during this trip right now?
Not fully, but yes. Does that make sense?
So, no, I got you. So you're not going to be investing all of your time, but yeah, I got you. And as you are coming, yaretzi's actually beelined it a couple times, different times, because she was told where the library is, and this library has some very old books. Some certain books that definitely would have the right type of rituals. Now, here's the thing. There's one book that this library doesn't have that I'm going to say you actually have, and collection, but yaretzi would not know that. She would have to ask. And we'll have to save that because as you come into the room, you see the nature spirit, the table, the little kotatsu cable, and you see yaretzi with all these different ritual items, all these notes all around. Literally, there's now like a whiteboard with all these notes on it, and you come to the conclusion that okay, she's definitely going to be the one to talk to about getting him freed, and this must be the nature spirit he was about.
Now, real fast, would they notice if any books went missing?
Would you like to go to the library? Because
Yeah.
no, this isn't like a. This is just because it's there's a massive collection of wealth that has just been accrued because the Dark God has been trying to find rituals himself, and Xavier would go out get books. So would Spencer. So if you would like to go to the library, I will let you do that right now.
Yeah, I'd like to head to the library and see if there's any books that are different.
Because hold on, I just got to make sure I get this correct. Okay, yes. All right, you find something very interesting, and this would be perfect in your collection. You find an actual, like, this book. It couldn't even really be considered a book because it's like made of like with actual plates of gold that have been engraved with different colored engravings. It's the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Thankfully for you, because of your world knowledge, whenever you want to try to read from this, it'll be a difficulty level 2 intelligence roll to try to decipher the hieroglyphics to get some interesting knowledge. Because this Book of the Dead was not written by Egyptians.
Who was
Is
written
this
by?
something? Oh, you can see, all you see make out is just an A. Is this something that would interest Mori, or do you put it back?
Very interesting. I think I'm gonna take that book.
And as we see Mori walking away with this book, oh, I already figured yaretzi's taking all them fucking books. And the last thing I want to check in on again is we're just gonna call them the three amigos and Nathaniel. We joined them as the Fey King, and no, this is not Oberon. Sadly, Oberon he died from old age a very long ago, and this is just a selfish ass brat that is inherited nepotism, baby, at work. Nepotism at its finest. He's a terrible king. If anything, him being sent to the summit, everyone in the Fey Woods are just getting a break from him, and they could not be happier. And right now, that level of obnoxiousness is turned to you, and especially because you want something. Oh, he is just fucking loving. And because you see, his name is Greed. Greed just looks at you and he's just loving it, just loving the fact that you're saying it, and he's just already knows what he's going to say to you. But please, Bethany, start up for me. What have you been saying to Greed?
So Greed, he's been treating Greed like he's Santa Claus. Just go rambling on a list about what he wants. I want a monster truck that reads "Move, bitch" on the grill. I want a boatload of drugs, like a literal yacht packed to the boat rim full of drugs. Like every inch of it should be filled with drugs. Like it could be sunk because of how much drugs is on it. I want a gun from that movie Rambo. Who are you again?
Do you really think I'm fucking Santa Claus? Look, I know Santa is a fucking member of the Fae, but I'm not Santa.
But you have his magic, right?
He wishes he had my level of magic and level of amazing. And he just lets out a gargantuan fart. But the thing is, like, when he lets out this fart, it's a poof of just purple smoke with sparkles all in it.
Oh, you're a genie. So you could just materialize my monster.
Well, no, because at the end of the day, what is this going to get? Here's the biggest question of all. What is this going to get the most important person of all? How does this benefit me? How do I benefit giving you anything?
I don't know. I mean, if I sent a letter to Santa asking for monster truck, it might happen. You're telling me you can't. So how powerful are you?
Well, I can tell you flat out why Santa never gave it to you. is because you weren't really worth a damn. You weren't worth the time of a deal. I can tell you right. That's why you see little spoiled little shits who get everything is because they have something that he can benefit from. So I'll ask you again. How does this benefit me? Because I want you to remember, I'm the most important thing in this room. Me. Sticky
It sounds like
Joe and Scruffy, how do you react to this?
I'm just saying. It sounds like I gotta put my hair in a ponytail.
That is a whole lot right there for Scruffy.
It seems a little light for Sticky Joe.
Now, I can already tell you right now, you young lady, you bore me. But you, he's looking in the direction of Scruffy. The smelly one, you're far too stinky. But you are the most intriguing creature I've ever seen. What is your name?
Wait, he's asking my name?
Oh, he's looking right at you, Scruffy.
I mostly go by Scruffy, among other things.
Now, are you telling me that such a magnificent specimen just radiance as a member of this group?
Scruffy's never been called Radiant before. Scruffy kind of likes it.
He's just
Not that
like
much.
he's just undulating at the sight of you, Scruffy, and he looks and then he turns sharply back at you, Bethany, and he's just, for bringing me such a gift of the senses, I will grant you one favor. What have you come down here really for? What is your real desire?
See, there's this little small person in the dungeon. I would like to have a talk with him in private and for no one to ask questions when he's not around anymore.
He looks at you. His eyes start to glow with a intense purple, like the white of the eyes turn intense purple, and his pupil homing, fading, just gazing into you. He gets a big smile, and he just says, "Oh, you're not. You know what? This is two interesting sights and experiences I get to bask in." And I'm just going to let everyone know, he is just off rubbing himself just with oil on his chest. And he's just, oh. And you just hear from like inside, like from the far back room behind him, you can just hear Rudy screaming. Well, you can hear the dwarf-sized killer screaming, "My ass!" And literally a pair of ass cheeks just come flying down the hallway, and the hindquarters of the dwarf-sized killer just plops on the desk in front of you, Bethany. And then all of a sudden, butcher's paper appears underneath it, wraps around, a string ties around it, and it floats up for you to grab. Do you take it?
Indeed.
What was that?
Yes, we grab.
Please enjoy. And do tell me how you enjoy the flavor.
Thank you.
Just far from back in there, just hearing, "Bye. Bye."
I'm gonna cook it up real good.
The king is just big smile as you walk away, and the smile on his face, the best way to describe this is, I actually have to reference, but if showing my age, but for anyone who remembers Majora's Mask, the Happy Mask Salesman, he has that fucking evil smile on his face right now as Bethany turns around and leaves the room. Unfortunately, you're not going to see this, Bethany, and you don't get to know. Sticky Joe and Scruffy see it, but it's up to them to tell you, or if they feel anything's off or amiss about this. And then as the smile leaves his face, he just looks at Scruffy. He just gets grapes, and he just starts rubbing that on himself now. Just, I apologize for nothing. Oh, the decadence. And he looks at you, Sticky Joe, and now he's like, you know what? Now you're starting to interest me, Sticky One. What is your desire? What have you come down here for?
Well, if you got some super special grade duct tape, I'll do just about anything.
Oh, you just said the wrong magic words with that one. So that's when the wheelchair chariot changes into a very long bed. It looks like it's a golden bed with the headboard area that has like arms that stretch out, and the legs are literal legs, and it runs over to you, and he's laying there now. Oh god, he now has just like a bearskin rug covering his crotch, and he's just, you said anything right.
Just about anything.
Well, then hop on this bed and we'll be retreating to the back.
This is Detroit all over again.
We're
Gonna fade
about
the
to.
black there.
And this is so. Once again, I get to reference one of my favorite things. Literally, this is the couch gag from fucking Simpsons for when they cross over with Futurama. Homer's on the fucking Roman emperor thing, and it rips all of his clothes off, and Homer's just and they go away, and some shit goes on, and so yeah, the arms just rip all of Sticky Joe's clothes off, and he just rubs you with oil, and you just hear Sticky just going, and they walk away. And Scruffy's alone, and he's just saying, because he knows in his head, you never eat the goddamn Fey food!
Don't eat the Fey food. How many times do I gotta tell y'all?
And that is where we will off for this first day at the estate. And this went even better than I could have ever dreamed. And going forward, because we're going to be going into the next session will be, for the dear players, will be the nighttime at the estate. And they can choose to stay at the estate or to go out and have some fun in the town. Now, some interesting things will be happening going forward because of choices and things that are happening. This is going to be a very interesting series of sessions, and I'm very excited for it. So get ready for it, dear listeners. So until the next one, everyone, goodbye.